In this tutorial, we're going to talk about creating contact lists. And within EM4C, before you basically do anything like send out an email campaign, create a web form or a landing page, you're going to want to have a contact list created for that. So let's start out by clicking on the Contact List tab and selecting Create a Contact List. When the screen comes up, we've got a first section we see here is called New List Details. And the first field is asking for a list name. Now you want to make sure you give the list a name that will make sense to you 6 months from now when you've generated quite a few lists and you're looking back through your account. You want to make sure you give the list a name that makes sense and you know what kind of contacts are contained on that list. For example, I'll call this list Past Clients. That way I know this list contains all my past clients. Now you can see the list owner's name, owner's email, and reply to email are all filled out by default, and this information is pulled in by the account owner information when your EM4C account was set up. But you can go ahead and change this. For example, if I had different sales reps and they were uploading their specific list of clients, I could put each sales rep's information in here as the list owner. So John Smith is actually the name that's going to show up by default when any campaign is sent to this list. This is the email that it's going to show that the campaign came from. And this is going to be the email that if somebody receives the campaign and clicks on the reply to button in their email client, this is where their reply is going to go to. Now right here, notify the list owner. If you have this checkbox checked, it's going to let this list owner know at this email address when anybody subscribes in the case of a web form or a landing page, or unsubscribes from an email campaign. So if somebody clicks on the unsubscribe link from one of your email campaigns, the person whose email address is in list owner's email here is going to be notified instantly when somebody unsubscribes, or in the case of a web form, subscribes to the list. So now let's look at the custom fields section. Now I can choose which custom fields I want to associate with my list. As you can see, I've already created a custom field for first name, last name, and phone number. So I want to collect this information as well when I'm creating my list, so I'll select any of those custom fields. Now again, I had these custom fields already created, so if you're not familiar with what custom fields are or how to create them, make sure you check out our tutorial on creating custom fields. Now down in this visible field section, this basically is just going to tell me what fields are going to show up if I view this contact list within my account here. And I'll get into a little bit more detail after we create this list. And this last section down here says company details. You could put your company name, company address, and company phone number in here. And when you go to create an email campaign, you can actually pull that in as a variable. We normally just go ahead and leave this blank because most of the time when you're creating an email campaign, you're going to enter your company information in that area. And we've also created a tutorial specifically dealing with creating and customizing email campaigns, so make sure you check that out. So I've given the list a name and I've got all my owner's detail information in there, so all I need to do now is click Save. Now you'll see it takes me to a list of all the contact lists that I've created so far. You can see the list name, the date it was created, how many contacts are on the list owner. Then over here you can see that I can view the contacts, I can add contacts manually, I can edit any of the details, for example, of the list I just created. I can go in and edit anything at any time and save those changes. I can also hit copy to copy my list, and I can delete the list if I no longer need that list. Now I'm going to go up here and click View Contacts for this one sample list that we have created so you can see what I'm talking about in the last section when I mentioned the visible fields. So I'll click on View Contacts and you can see that these are the columns that show up when I'm viewing these contact lists: email address, activity status, first name, last name, and phone number. Now if I want to change those, you would change those by editing your contact list and going to the visible fields. So see, visible fields show these fields. So when you view your contact list within your account, these are the fields that are going to show up. So I can unselect date added or email format or confirmed. Then I can select show me first name, last name, and phone number. That way that data shows up anytime I look at the details of the contacts within my list. I can go ahead and click save. And now I've got a contact list ready to upload contacts either from a list or add them manually over here or connect a web form to it. For more information on uploading or adding contacts to a list, make sure you check out our tutorial called Adding Contacts to a List. Thanks for watching the Creating Contact List tutorial.